Hi all, let me explain the basics of software engineering. Let us analyze these questions which are used for software engineering. Each one of the question we can understand the answer. The first question is, what does UML stand for? This is the basic one. Actually we don't know what do you mean by UML. Let us know. These are the questions and below are the questions with answers. So now let us explore the first question. What does UML stand for actually? I already explained in the previous video how to install star UML. Star UML is a tool where we can design multiple diagrams and we can visualize the components of software system, right? Now let us know what does UML stand for. UML stands for Unified Modeling Language. It is a standardized language used in software engineering to visualize and design of a system. Okay, I think you have got it. Now let us second one. Name one reason why we model in software development. Okay, this question is asking why we need to model in software development. They are asking the reason for why we need to model in software development. One key reason is for better understanding and communicate complex systems. In the sense, we need to communicate with the complex system. Models provide a simplified representation of a system, making it easier to analyze, design, and manage. Okay, once again, just have a look. One key reason is for better understand and communicate with complex systems. Models provide a simplified representation of a system, making it easier to analyze, design, and manage. What is class? Generally, class is a blueprint for creating objects. So, coming to the UML, a class is a blueprint for the objects. It defines the attributes and behaviors of a systems, or in other words, it can be also call it as it defines the attributes and behaviors that the object created from the class will have. So you can go it whichever you want easy. Define what a use case. Generally use case is a diagram, use case diagram we will draw. Okay. Here it's asking define use case in simple terms. A use case is a description of system's behavior as a response to a request from an external actor. It's way to capture the functional requirements of a system. Okay, I think you got it. A use case is a description of system's behavior. It as it response request from an external actor. It's a way to capture the functional requirements of a system. Next, what is an activity diagram used for? Generally, activity diagram is used to model the workflow of a or processes within the system. Okay, generally, just remember the key point. Activity diagram is used to model the workflow or processes of a system or within a system. It shows the sequence of activities. It shows the sequence of activities and the flow of control from one activity to another. Let us revise once again. An activity diagram is nothing but which is used to model workflow or processes of a software system or within a system. It shows the sequence of activities and the flow of control from one activity to another. Okay, sequence of activities and the flow of control, or model of the workflow or process within the system. So what is the purpose of conceptual model? We need to remember that it is very important. As a conceptual model represents the high level structure of the system. Its main purpose is to outline the key concepts and relationships within the system, providing a foundation for further design and analysis. A conceptual model represents the high level structure of a system. It represents the outline and key concepts of a relation within the system, providing a foundation for further design and analysis. Difference between class and object. And generally, we know class and object. We have already learned in the languages like Python, Java. So coming to the UML, we need to just write the differences between class and object. Class diagram. These depict the classes in a system and the relationships, focusing on the static structure. Just remember, static structure is given as class diagram and dynamic structure is given as object diagram. Okay, this shows instant of a class. Generally, we know object is an instant of a class at a particular moment in time, emphasizing the system dynamic structure. Okay, next question. Summarize the key components of use case diagram. We need to summarize what are the key components of use case. We know key components are entity, use cases, sorry, and there are actors, entities, and relationships. No. There are actors, use cases, and relationships. Actor defined as entities that interact with the system. Use case specifies functionalities or service of a system provides. It is also known use case or a description of system behavior. We can write as relationships, connections between actors and use case, showing how they interact. We already know how to relate the actors and the activities in the UML diagram. How do interactions helps in understanding system. Here main is objective interaction diagram we know. So interactions illustrate the exchange of message. Generally we know between objects to achieve a specific goal. They help in understanding how different parts of system collaborate and communicate, providing insights into the system dynamic behavior. Generally we can write compare activity diagram and interaction. We need to just compare activity and interaction. Activity diagram in the sense focus on the flow of activities and control within a process. Flow of activities, control process. Focus on the interaction between objects, showing that the sequence exchange to accomplish task we have completed. Now let us explore similar questions but different answers. Okay, what is asking? Define UML. Already we have learned unified modeling is a standard modeling language used in software to visualize, specify, construct, document. It provides a set of graphical notation techniques used to create abstract model of a systems, particularly software. Generally we can write modeling. I already told why into model for better understand and communicate with complex system. Okay, in previously we have learned. So here we learn modeling is the process of creating a representation of system. Like models, we have different types of models in social media like that. Modeling is a process of creating representation of system or concept to better understand, analyze, and communicate with structure and behavior. In software development, models helps in visualizing complex system, improving design quality, and facilitating communication among stakeholders. Here we don't know what is stakeholder. In upcoming questions we will get to know what do we mean by stakeholders. Okay, what is asking? Common mechanism in the sense we know. Generally we don't know, like just we need to remember these abstraction, encapsulation, integrated polymers are what there are the functional concepts in Python, Java. Okay, similar to the Python abstraction, encapsulation. We need to remember just this word, common mechanisms in UML. Okay, we can write abstraction in the sense hiding background detail, like simplifying complex system by focusing on the essential. Here essential details. And coming to the Python language, it defined as hiding background details. In the sense we are representing essential things only, that just logic you need to remember. Encapsulation in the sense hiding the internal details and showing only the necessary parts. This is somewhat similar to the abstraction, just remember. Encapsulation in the sense hiding the internal details and showing only the necessary parts. Okay, like the diagrams. Inheritance in allowing new classes to take on properties of existing classes. Easy. Polymorphism means having many forms, enabling the object to be treated of instance of their parent class rather than actual ones. Okay. Define class diagram. We already know a class diagram is a type of static structure diagram UML that describes the structure of a system by showing its classes, attributes, and operation and the relationships among objects. It's used to model the logical view of a system. I think you got it. Now similarly, class completed. Now object. An object diagram UML shows a snapshot of system at a particular point in time. It illustrates the instant of a class, their relations capture the system statistic movement. We can also write object is an dynamic. Here structure, it describes the structure of a system. So object describes the dynamic of a system. Like that we can write. Difference between association and generalization. These are the mechanisms of UML diagrams. We can write. Association in represent the relationship between two or more classes that shows how you can interact with each other. Example, a teacher teaches students. Teaches in the sense it is an interacting with the students, right? So these were related to the association. This is combining, like communication, group discussion. Example, all blah blah we can write. Students, it is saying students plural form. So plural form which is refers to the two or more classes, like that. Generally we can analyze. Now it is generalization represents the inheritance relationship where one class inherited the, it is inheritance related to inheritance. A dog is a mammal. Simple. Explain OOP concept applied in software engineering. OOP concept is object oriented programming. It is we need to explain. Applied in software encapsulation in just we already completed. No need of repeating. Just have a look. Building data and methods operating data with one unit like a class restricting to some component. Inheritance is creating new classes from existing one. Inheriting attributes and behaviors. Polymorphism means having many forms. Data ancient of the class. Abstraction means simplifying complex systems by modeling classes and approach to the problem. Completed. We need to differentiate between active and passive object. Active object in an active that has its own thread of control. Just active in the sense always active, and self one. Own thread of control. It can integrate control active and generally responsible for managing its own state. A server process handling client request. Passive in the sense an object that does not have its own thread of control. Depends on the other. It depends, but it has own. Self and depends. Active object in this self control. Passive object in this one depends on other objects. Like that. Example, data structure holding information but not performing actions. Difference between class diagram and object diagram is completed already. Focus on static structure of a system by showing the system classes, their attributes, method and relationships. An object diagram focus on a specific instant of a class, system, a particular point. Discuss the reasons of UML modeling. Okay, reasons we need to UML modeling. Like UML modeling is used for several reasons. Communication, this is the first one. Visualization, documentation, analysis and design. These are the main points. We can elaborate it for getting full marks. Someone will say like first impression is the best impression. So we can expand it. First we need to remember the reasons of UML modeling. There are a lot of reasons. First let me explain the communication. Provides a common language for stakeholders. It is repeating, right? Stakeholders are repeating a lot more time. Coming answers, let us discuss. Visualization in the sense helps in visualizing the structure and the behavior of a system. We know this is common word. Documenting the documentation, like that. Serves as the blueprint for the system, adding in maintenance. Analyzing and design. Facilitate the analysis and design of a system, providing clear structure. Consistency. Ensures consistent design and implementation by following standard diagrams. So in model we need to remember reasons of UML modeling: communication, visualization, documentation, analysis and design, consistency. That's it. These are the reasons for UML modeling. And then I think almost completed. The basics of software engineering are almost completed. With that you can understand the SDLC, the waterfall model, spiral model and etc. Once again let me revise these all questions for you. Discuss the reasons completed. Difference between class and object diagram, both are completed. And different be active in the sense self control depends on the other control. That's just a logic one I have told you. You can elaborate it and you can understand. Object that has own thread of control and control active generally responsible for managing its own state. A server process handling client request. An object that does not have its own thread of control depends on the other. Generally we can analyze it. Passive object in the sense that does not have its own thread of control. It has its own thread of control. Okay, just analyzing. Here the OOPS concept in the sense you need to understand OOPS in the sense Python, Java. There are some main concepts like 4: abstraction, encapsulation, polymorphism, and one more, inheritance. Those are similar here. Encapsulation means building the data, like bundling the data. Sorry, I always repeating building. It's not building, it's bundling. Bundling data and methods operating on the data within one unit, like a class restricting access to some components. Inheritance means we know acquiring properties from parent class to child class. Similarly here we need to write some professional way, creating new classes from existing ones, inheriting attributes and behaviors. Poly means many forms, allowing objects to be treated as instant of their parent class rather than their actual ones. Abstraction in the sense simplifying complex system into simple one. That's it. Not enough taking extra burden for you. Just in general, you need to learn these all the concepts of software engineering. Differentiate between association and I already told you association in the without saying I'm telling. Association is nothing but a teacher teaches teaching the class, or generalization in the like. What generalization in the sense? Without saying I'm telling, a dog is a mammal, like that. We need to track on the point and we need to elaborate it. We need to remember like that. It is a type of story. Just remember, it is a type of story. Association is a group, like that. Represent relation between two or more classes that shows interaction, blah blah blah. Teachers, students. Generalization represent an inheritance relationship where one class inherit the properties and behavior of another class. Dog is a mammal, like that. Now, object class, I already know, no need of reading again, but have a look. It's a static structure that describes the structure of system and like blah blah classes, attribute, arguments among the objects. That's it. You can write this also. It's used to model the logical view of a system, like that. Object. What about object in the sense? The snapshot of system, particularly pointed at time. Let's say the instance of a class. I can write this. You can score. I can write this. You can score good marks. Test out the common mechanisms UML. Common when I already told you those repeated. Next, modeling is usually process of creating a representative of a system concept to better understand, analyze, communicate with system. It's repeated from that previous question. In software development, models have visually and complex system like that. I already told you documenting system. It provides a graphical, like that. I think we have completed some basics of software. I'll upload this now in this channel. Sorry, I have been uploaded. Thanks for watching. Like this, I'll bring more content regarding system design, software engineering, computer networks, cloud computing. Just comment down what you want next.